There we go. Hey.
Hello, esteemed guests. Keep your arms and legs in the elevator at all times. You all are going to go into the fifth dimension right now. Can you make the screen bigger?
Sing. Everybody start to sing. La-di-da, ho, ho-di, ho. Now you're singing with the swing. You gotta sing. Everybody start to swing. La-di-da, ho, ho-di, ho. Now you're swinging while you sing. When the music goes around, everybody goes to town. But here is something you should know. Oh, baby, holy ho.
Tonight's story in the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a maintenance service elevator, still in operation, waiting for you.
Tonight's story on the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a map of the United States, and there's a little town there called Peaksville.
Tonight's story in the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a maintenance service elevator.
Dreamers tell you will come to know. Wishing will make it so. Just imagine that walk back in childhood's day, wishing on the evening star or a load of hay. It was wonders for you then, who knows why or how. Though you're older, try again, it can help you now. Wishing will make it so. Just keep on wishing, and here we'll go. Dreamers tell us dreams come true. It's no mistake. Wishing are the dreams we dream when we're away. The curtain of night will part if you are certain within your heart. So if you wish long enough, wish strong enough, you will come to know. Wishing will make it so. Meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. And I will just say hello to the folks that you know. Tell them you won't be long. They'll be happy to know that night before you go, you were singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, the library doors in front of you will be opening. Please stand back from the doors as they will be opening toward you. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Please step in and feel free to browse our library.
I'll show you something after
To the folks that you know, tell them you won't be long. They'll be happy to know that night before you go, you were singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the twilight zone.
Hollywood, 1939. Amid the glitz and the glitter of a bustling young movie town at the height of its golden age, the Hollywood Tower Hotel was a star in its own right, a beacon for the show business elite. Now, something is about to happen that will change all that. The time is now, on an evening very much like the one we have just witnessed.
Again I hold you tight, though your song, your love lives on when moonlight, and as long as my heart will beat, and we'll always meet, here in my deep eternal dream.
Nepal. We are going to be talking. Just remember this room later. I got a treat.
Tower of Terror 4 at the Disney MGM Studios. Never the same fear twice.
And now, our tour guide into the fifth dimension, Kirk Cameron.
Wow. Look at this. This is amazing. We are in the lobby of the legendary Hollywood Tower Hotel. No one has set foot in this place since one bizarre night more than 50 years ago when something unexplainable happened. It was way back in 1939, back when Hollywood was really something to sing hooray about. It was the golden age when Tinseltown worked hard and partied even harder. It was the year of some of Filmland's greatest classics, like Wuthering Heights, Gone with the Wind, and The Wizard of Oz. The film community lived the good life. And the good life never got better than at the elegant, some might say decadent, Hollywood Tower Hotel. That is until one dark, rainy Halloween night. A freakish lightning storm seemed to hang the tinsel on Tinseltown. Anyone who was anyone was partying at the hotel, none of them suspecting what ominous fate lay ahead. Legend has it that when those 5 people stepped into that elevator, it took them up to the 13th floor. Pretty strange for a hotel with only 12 floors. When lightning struck, the awesome power of that mysterious force blew out an entire wing of the hotel and sent the elevator plummeting at an incredible speed. 5 unsuspecting guests vanished into the unknown. Somewhere along the way, those 5 unfortunate souls left the elevator and entered the Twilight Zone. Anyway, they closed the hotel that night. Now, some people say the spirits of those 5 people still walk the eerie hotel corridors to this day. Others say the bellman survived. But come on, you saw that thing fall. I mean, nobody could survive that. But it was a great story, and Disney thought it was a great story too. In fact, it was so incredible, they recreated the Hollywood Tower Hotel brick by brick here at the Disney MGM studios, just to plunge you into an experience that would last a few terrifying moments, but feel like an eternity. The decision to build a thrilling, state-of-the-art attraction of this magnitude came from Michael Eisman, the head of the Walt Disney Company.
Our parks, our concepts, our movies are not for children, and they're not just for adults, they're for everybody. And even though this is a monumental thrill ride, it is one that you feel totally safe and that you have a more than just a thrill experience. You have the intellectual experience of going into the Twilight Zone.
An attraction like the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror doesn't just appear from out of nowhere. There's a large group of talented, dedicated people whose job it is to come up with rides and attractions that are more thrilling, terrifying, bigger, faster, scarier than any others in the entire world. They let their imagination and test their engineering skills to the limits. That's actually how they got their name. You see, they took the words imagination and engineering and combined them to form one easy-to-remember word. Imagineers. This very special group bears the Disney name, and that's a lot to live up to. Walt Disney Imagineering has a long tradition of combining thrilling rides with story and drama. Space Mountain, an incredible race through the galaxy. Star Tours, a zoom through space on a runaway star speeder. And on Splash Mountain, you hold on for dear life as you ride a long flume down a raging river.
Somehow.
Now, to create a great attraction, Disney's Imagineers needed a great idea.
One way of looking at a blank piece of paper is it's the most frightening thing in the world. because there's nothing on it, and you have to put a mark on it. Another way, and the way we try to get people to think around Imagineering, is that a blank piece of paper is the most exciting thing in the world because there's nothing on it. And you can let your imagination fly in any direction. And that's what happened with the Tower of Terror. But once we really honed in on how we were going to do this attraction, and then came up with the idea of linking it to Rod Serling's great stories, The Twilight Zone. I think that was the magic that brought it all together, because it gave us a whole framework to hang all the ideas on.
Once they had the concept, it was time to add a compelling story. Rod Serling every week said he unlocked the door to another dimension, to the fifth dimension. So we thought, we'll take you there. This is something he couldn't do. He showed stories about this place, but we thought if we could actually put you in the Twilight Zone, this would be something unique. Invariably, the stories dealt with ordinary people in ordinary situations that have an extraordinary thing happen to them. So this idea of walking into a hotel and confronting an elevator that takes you to another dimension, that's the twist that provides us a doorway into the Twilight Zone. We also know that most of the people visiting the Disney MGM studios are staying in hotels and facing elevators and having this experience every day. So we wanted to twist that little common experience of theirs, a device known to be used on the Twilight Zone, and make that the basis, the starting point of this supernatural story. So it just fits in so nicely with the themes that Rod Serling dealt with consistently. Now, after you've got your story, you want to bring it to life, give it some soul and energy, and see what you're getting into. Now, that's where the storyboard artists come in. They are the middlemen between legend and execution.
My job here at Imagineering is a show designer. And what we do mostly are drawings, paintings, storyboards, models, whatever it takes to get the concept and communicate it across. The creative team in the beginning of Tower of Terror had dozens of brainstorming sessions. During those sessions, when we're talking and having discussions, I'm sitting with a sketch pad, making roughies, trying to bounce these ideas back off visually to the people at the table, and to put it in a form that is a shorthand, a visual shorthand that we can reference later. One of the guiding intentions behind the attraction was that we wanted to reflect the opulence of 1939 Hollywood, but show it in a state of neglect, show it in a state of disrepair. If you came into a once elegant room, you should now be able to smell the dust and mustiness of it. There should be signs of wear and tear, of patina that had grown with age on something that was once very, very shiny, very glorious. One of the most satisfying things for me as a designer on the project is to see it go from concept discussions to all kinds of sketches and paintings, to seeing it become a real environment that people can walk through, that you can see their expressions, enjoying it and experiencing this story.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror isn't only Walt Disney World's newest and tallest landmark, it's an absolute work of art and the ultimate multimedia thrill attraction. It's almost 200 feet tall, and they used over 3 million pounds of steel, over 145,000 cubic feet of concrete, and 27,000 roof tiles to build it.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines must go down. We have liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour.
The biggest challenge we had on this project was developing an attraction that was going to push the technological limits of what we know as the attraction business today.
One of the most interesting challenges of building an attraction for Disney is that we try so hard to make everything look like it's not. We build a brand new facility, and then we come in right behind it, and we try to make it look 65 years old.
Coming up, your very own heart-stopping drop from the 13th floor as you experience the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Florida's Walt Disney World. There's more new to do in all 3 theme parks this summer. The Magic Kingdom, scream down the world's steepest flume ride, Splash Mountain. Epcot 94. See and touch all the newest video games, electronics, cars, and computers before anyone else at Innovations. The Disney MGM Studios, now twice as big. Let the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror drop you 13 frightening floors. Don't miss any of it. Call 407-WDisney now.
The Disney prop department and set dressers made everything look just like it did the last night this hotel was open. There are real letters in the mailboxes. Did you know that in 1939 a stamp was only 2 cents? Hey, it really rings.
You rang, sir.
I was just playing with the bell. Sorry. That couldn't be the same bellman that... No. Well, hey, look at this. This is the same pen the guests use to sign in. Wonder what's in here. This place is really starting to spook me.
Part of the challenge of working on the interior of the Tower of Terror was not only creating a time period, but capturing it a short while after it had been built and frozen in a moment in time as everyone vanished. So throughout the lobby, we have little stories that can be seen and are told through a matter of props and set dressings of what people were doing at that moment. In researching the time period, we had to really uncover what was popular at the time and what people likely would have been doing in that hotel when it finally shut down. Right here. See how it's set up? What we're trying to capture in this scene is a mahjong game in progress, which was very popular at the time. And we have a coffee set up. We have a set of flowers that was delivered with it that has long been dead. All of the lighting fixtures in the Tower of Terror that were provided for us by Character Lighting were acquired from a building of similar size, age, and style as our hotel here. The 1920s pattern on the tapestry was our guide for the rest of the colors in the room. At the end of the sofa, we had a visitor in from France with his French-English translation book for some of the harder words in his new American newspaper. There was a lot of activity that last day in 1939. We had a very wealthy person checking in at the time with a very swank set of luggage. He has just signed in the registration book and is now leaving a note at the registration desk telling of a friend arriving later and to please hold their room. Another guest had just checked in and has obviously come in from a much colder climate. He's taken off his overcoat and hat. He's already received his key and newspaper in the hotel, has filled out his Hollywood postcards to send off to others out of town.
Picture, if you will, a group of ordinary high school kids. They're out for a night of fun at the Disney MGM Studios. Little do they know, they're about to be thrust into the darkest corners of their imaginations, to become players in their very own episode of The Twilight Zone. Like all those brave enough to enter the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, these guests will be retracing the footsteps of those faithful five who disappeared long, long ago. But beware, once those doors close, there's no escape except through the fifth dimension. That took the smirks off their faces, and it's only the beginning. It's a long way down, but they'll be all right. That thing was just inspected in 1939. Submitted for your approval. Back in 1939, 5 people took this same elevator and were never heard from again. But of course, that's just a silly legend. I can't wait to talk to these guys and ask them what they thought.
Going up.
I don't think so.
More of the making of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror when we return.
So what have we learned? That Disney knows what they're doing when it comes to giving you the thrill of a lifetime? Well, yes, but we've always known that. What we didn't know is that when you get into an elevator, the floor you choose is not necessarily the floor you end up on. And the next time you need a hotel reservation, if you want an experience that you'll never forget, make sure the hotel you choose is the 4-star rated Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror opens July 22nd.
Later this year, the ride located at Walt Disney World turns 30 years old. Let's take a look back at its construction. It's the early 19... The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
I'm thinking.
Later this year, the ride located at Walt Disney World turns 30 years old. Let's take a look back at its construction. It's the early 1990s, Disney's MGM Studios. Work had began on constructing the Tower of Terror. This expansive project was quite the undertaking for Disney's Imagineers. Not only did they need to utilize a trackless ride system, Imagineers needed to partner with an existing elevator company to create a system that would allow for the elevator to fall, something all elevator companies tend to avoid. But it was the Otis Elevator Company who stepped up to the challenge and created the vertical ride system. In order to achieve the weightless effect the Imagineers desired, cables attached to the bottom of the elevator car and pull it down at a speed slightly faster than what a free fall would provide. 2 enormous motors are located at the top of the tower, measuring 12 feet tall and 35 feet long, weighing 132,000 pounds. They are able to accelerate 10 short tons at 15 times the speed of normal elevators. They generate 275 times the torque of a Chevrolet Corvette engine, reaching top speed in 1.5 seconds. Come visit soon, if you dare, that is.
So important because they are communicating a critical piece of the story. The first one can be found as you approach the front gate. And no, I don't mean this sign which has the October 31st, 1939 date on it, which, as you probably already know, is the date that lightning struck the hotel and then everybody inside the hotel mysteriously disappeared. No, the sign I want to focus on is on the side, and it says the Hollywood Tower Hotel, established 1917. That sign actually ties back to a Twilight Zone episode in Season 1, Episode 18 that's called The Last Flight, where a World War I pilot flies into a cloud and time travels, essentially getting lost in time. The narration in this particular episode emphasizes that a man can be lost not only in maps and miles, but also in time, and time can be measured in eternities. But that's not the only place we see this 1917 date, because a little further on in the queue we see it again. It's a plaque representing the cornerstone of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. The cornerstone is the first stone set in the construction of a building, and it marks the starting point from which all other measurements are made. Because 1917 is on this plaque and references that episode, we can infer that men getting lost in time is the cornerstone of this attraction. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever learned about Disney's Tower of Terror. Because the newspaper you see everywhere in the attraction, on the tea cart, on the couch, in the hallways outside of guest rooms, they all have the actual front page from the Los Angeles Examiner from October 31st, 1939, which is of course the date when everyone disappeared from the tower. Of all the headlines on this newspaper, the largest is, Ruth Judd gives self up after 6 days, returns to asylum in hysterics. But what does that mean, you might ask? Well, buckle up because it's time for the story of Winnie Ruth Judd. So one night in 1931, Winnie Ruth met up with two friends at her friend's house for dinner and drinks. An argument broke out between the friends over Jack Halloran, the man Ruth was having an affair with. The details are a little bit hazy, but when all was said and done, all three women were wounded. Winnie Ruth in her left hand, and the other two women both fatally. The body of one of them was then jammed into a large trunk, but the other one wouldn't fit. So her body was then divided up and placed into multiple suitcases and covered by articles of clothing. Winnie Ruth then took these suitcases and boarded a train headed for Los Angeles. On the way, the suitcases started to not smell so great and, well, leak. So when she got to LA, the police were of course waiting for her and asked her to open the trunks. Claiming that her husband had the keys, she fled the scene. The trunks were forced open and, well, you know what they found. The media called her the trunk murderess. She claimed self-defense in her trial, but she was found guilty and sentenced to not live much longer. But days before the end, she had an insanity hearing and was found to be mentally incompetent, and then moved to the Arizona State Mental Hospital, which she escaped from 6 times, which is what we see here on the front page of the paper. The same newspaper which is everywhere in the Tower of Terror. The Hollywood Tower Hotel lobby is also littered with abandoned suitcases. A fact that, once you know about the story, is actually quite disturbing. I wonder how many people know this about the secret room that's located inside Disney's Tower of Terror. So when you exit the Hollywood Tower Hotel, odds are you've seen some of the rooms that are right before the gift shop. The Beverly Room is a photo editing room, and the Fountain Room is a stock room, and all 3 false rooms in this area are listed on the directory sign in the lobby. But the SunSet Room is my favorite because it was actually planned to be a Michelin star restaurant, where you could go and dine in luxury inside the Hollywood Tower Hotel. But budget costs combined with the idea that they could only be open for dinner canceled this project. But the restaurant facade is still there, showing a menu from the day that the guests disappeared on October 31st, 1939. And this menu also features a hidden tribute to some of the writers of The Twilight Zone, like Whitefish Matheson for Richard Matheson, Rack of Lamb Johnson for George Clayton Johnson, a salad named Polonaise Beaumont for Charles Beaumont, and of course for dessert, a chocolate cake for Rod Serling. But the most interesting thing about the SunSet Room is that you can't actually go inside it, because these doors are just a facade, and nobody really knows what's behind them because they never finished the room. There used to be windows to it in the old bypass hallway that was next to the gift shop, and there may be an access panel behind one of these windows, but honestly the whole thing is a mystery.
And that is it. And we're going to talk about that next. And you can pause for a second. Well, as you heard in that last short video from Disney Cicerone, the subject of the evening is the SunSet Room, which was supposed to be a restaurant, but due to budget cuts, it was cut. Enter with me, if you dare, and go back to 1939 with me as we enter the SunSet Room. As I made a